it is an absolutely beautiful day here in South Georgia. Why is it so beautiful? Because it's like 60 degrees. When I stepped off the porch this morning at the cabin, it was 40 degrees, but I knew it was going to warm up. It's just nice. My hands aren't hurting, and I'm actually getting kind of hot. I got so much junk on. I've been up here for 5 hours today, and I can tell you, after years of doing this, you can only stay up in these trees so long on these little bitty platforms, and I don't think it mentally it's hard, for your mind. At least it isn't for me, but it's your body. It's just that you can't move around much. And this platform that I'm using today, and I'm in the upper swamp, it's smaller than our other platforms. And you say, well, how much smaller? It's just a couple of inches, but man, it's a big deal, So when you're up here stepping around, and after, 30, 40 years of doing this, you kind of have a system of like how you can move and stretch and bend. And this is day 8, and I can tell you that, it just, maybe I'm just getting old, but it starts to hurt where it's just like, you want to move the shoulder more and everything. And you come up with all these little ways to kind of keep the blood flowing. Enough about all that crap. I got a text last night from my old boss, the last boss I had before I retired. Phenomenal man. Wrote about him in one of the books. Called him the Gentle Giant, I think is the name of the story. And when he first, came to our office, he was told by numerous people that I would be a problem child. I'd be like trying to hold on to a slippery snake, and then I was told that he was just difficult. And I don't know, it all worked out. Phenomenal guy. He doesn't reach out a lot. It's kind of odd when you retire. And for you, folks out there in TV land that are retired, it's odd. Because some people reach out, some people don't. And some people that you thought would reach out, you never hear from them. And then you just kind of go off into your own little world. And so he reached out last night to just say, hey. And then he started texting me today, and I try to stay off my phone when I'm in the tree. But it's hard. Our other business relies strictly on phones, our trapping business. Not to bore you with the details, but we have 60 cameras that are all cellular that are feeding a phone and just constantly downloading pictures. So I spend time on my phone, but normally it's work. But he's texting back and forth this morning, and he wants to try to get together and eat lunch. And we've been trying to do that for probably 6 years now that I've been retired, and he don't live far from me. And I said, yeah, we can do that. And he said, do you want me to bring you something? Where he's currently out of town. And I said, no, I'm good. He said, well, how about I bring you a snow globe? You hear him? And I'm changing the subject. I haven't lost my mind, but it's the frogs. And I knew it was going to get warm enough today that I could sit here and stand here and listen to them. And I've talked about this in other videos. As soon as I hit the ground, they're going to shut up. But it's just cool that, yesterday they probably had their ponchos on or their parkas and, their earmuffs because they were freezing to death. Today they're singing their song. But when he made the comment about the snow globe, it made me think about, to a point, I've kind of made my own snow globe. And I come up here and I get in my snow globe, and this is my world. And there isn't somebody pissed off at the grocery store line being ignorant, somebody driving like a crazy fool. It's my snow globe. It's my little world. Pretty much I can kind of control what comes and goes in this little world. And it's peaceful. But I can tell you, to a point, you got to get out there in the big world once in a while. You do. Just like my body's literally telling me, hey dude, you've been doing this for 8 days straight. You're hurting. You need to get out and walk around. I need to get out and probably bump into some lady at the grocery store and listen to her complain about some junk that really don't matter, and get that exposure, and it's hard, we try to find places where we can make our own snow globe, and we take a vacation, or we go to the beach, or we read a book, or whatever. Those little mental breaks, Unfortunately for so many of us, that if we want to have a little break and we want to go someplace, there's a process to get there. We got to get on a plane. And we've had conversations on videos about airports. Like, I don't know what the hell happened in airports, but like, can't anybody be nice anymore? And then there's the traveling and the traffic. And it's like the effort to get to that place is just compounds where you're already at, and that's why it's important, that you find a system, and it could be something like really simple, but something that you can do, kind of build your own snow globe, but you ain't got to go to a lot of effort to get to the snow globe. And that's why the farm is easy for me, because it's a half mile behind the house. I live in the country anyway. I can go in my backyard and have a snow globe, but out here, it's just like a great big snow globe. And I talk about it in many other videos is, when I'm working sometimes on these properties and our other business, I mean, I can go all day and never see another human being. And that's kind of a good thing. But I don't know if it's exactly healthy. Is it healthy for me to sit up in this tree for day 9? Nah. I texted my bride and I told her, I said, I'll be sleeping at the house tonight. And, she's like, oh, okay, great. Of course, it's going to be raining like hell tomorrow morning, so I don't really want to be hanging off the side of a tree and it be raining. But I know it's time for my body to move around tomorrow and not just sit for 5-6 hours on a little truck floor mat. So, in your search to have mental health, which is really a term I don't really like, but let's just say, I don't know, just to keep it all wired good, try to find you a snow globe that it doesn't take a lot of effort to get inside that snow globe. But I just don't think we're meant to stay there. You got to have your little breaks, and that's part of what we're going to try to do with our nonprofit stuff. Let's just give some place for people to come, take a little break, and not have a lot of effort that goes into it. A lot of programs, it takes a lot of effort to get there. And by the time you get there, you're more exhausted than you started, and so just try to simplify that process. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that you all can try to find a snow globe within your own lives. And again, it ain't got to be much. My wife has a snow globe. I talk about it all the time. It's a little pack of no sugar, no whatever, keto, whatever, pack of hot chocolate in a cup. She'll sit there and stir it, drink it right before bed. That's her snow globe, seriously. My snow globe is a lot more elaborate, and everybody knows I'm a hell of a lot more high maintenance than my wife. So with that being said, I'm gonna buzz you around, and then we about ready to get down. So here we are. This is the upper swamp. The creek that the beavers continually don't want water to be in is right over there. Way up that direction is where the pond's at. And as you can see, I ain't got much to work with today. That other platform comes out probably about right where my right foot's at. So there ain't much to work with. God bless Gorilla Tape. Several years ago, the barber who helps me do everything, my dear friend, she told me that we needed to start doing blogs. I don't know what the hell a blog was. I don't think I still know what a blog is. But like it's a short story. And I said, well, we'll try that. So we did the blogs. We did a lot of blogs. Wrote. And then we realized that we needed to dive into the videos, you know, because people want to watch things. The problem is our videos are too long. We see it on our other channel all the time. It's 3 seconds. They watch it for 3 seconds. I don't know what the hell you can learn in 3 seconds. But we're going to do what we can, and they may be too long, and that's okay. But the one thing I realized when we did the blogs, I would write stuff up in trees, and I'd write it, and I'd be like, man, this is just really bad. This doesn't make any sense, whatever. And then we'd send it out there, and it'd do really well. So clearly, you know, I don't know how it works for musicians, artists. Do they know what works, or it just works for that one person, and then they chew it up and buy it, and they want it, and they can't get enough of it? I don't know. To me, this video is absolutely horrible. I have stopped and recorded it like 3 or 4 times. And when you write, if it doesn't flow well, you just need to quit what you're doing. I figured that out years ago. But something's driving me. Don't know what. To put it out there, you know, to go, hey, that snow globe analogy is really going to work for somebody. And when my old boss texted it, it clicked so hard in my head, but maybe it's because there just ain't nothing in my damn head. So whenever there is a couple things, they like to work together. So it's a leap of faith, like most things. It's a leap of faith that the snow globe analogy will really work for somebody. And to a degree, for 8 days, I've been living in a snow globe. And I know it's time to step out. And I gotta go rub shoulders with some negative energy and bad junk in the world. And then I'll have a greater appreciation for this snow globe. And I'm confident when I'm back, when I step out of the snow globe, I got my little mini ones, you know, at the house. And kind of keep me in that right state of mind. So, who am I today? I'm a guy that's fixing to get down and get out of my snow globe. Y'all have a great day.